Hey everybody, what's up? We're back today and I'm going to pull some cards again today and get a feel for today's energy. But I want to talk about some more about how to think from the end and what to do when you're confronting your limiting beliefs. Okay, so stick around. My name is Alina. I'm a spiritual life coach, a manifestation coach, and a Reiki Master. So today I'm going to pull some of these Oracle cards from this beautiful deck. And I'm also going to pull, because I love this, Akashic Tarot. Actually, I'm going to start with the Akashic Tarot because I already did my Akashic Records prayer this morning. If you're not familiar, the Akashic Records are supposedly the history of like every soul, the entire history of your soul, and you can tap into anybody's history and that there's records kept, and so that you know kind of everything that is going to happen, everything that happened, etc., etc. Like most spiritual things, I sort of see that as a metaphor. This card is like really want to come out. Okay. I see that as a metaphor because I think that's something that our human brains really enjoy. If we can put something tangible and something relatable, such as a record of something, that we can have access to all kinds of records. I think it's just, I don't know if that's literally how it is. I feel like it's more that we're just tapping into our soul and our intuition. And because your soul is that higher perspective. Your soul has already seen everything. It's already in the end state, the end that you're looking for. Okay. So your soul has already knows what's headed for you on the path that you're on. It's like it has an aerial view. So you're on this path and we tend to think that we keep veering off. We tend to think like, oh, I must be on the wrong path. I talked the other day about, it's like a GPS. So say you're headed from Boston and you're headed to Santa Fe. When you plug it into the GPS, you don't question, you don't wonder, you don't stop in the middle of the road and think, this is taking too long, I must be off course, and then turn around and go back. So you don't do that either on the way to your manifestation. So stop assuming that you're off the path and that you need to plug it back into the GPS. Your soul, your higher self, your inner being, source, whatever you want to call it, already knows the way and it's already seeing you from the end. So I was thinking about Bill and Ted.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
That scene where, is it Ted's keys, like his dad lost his keys. They're trying to break into the jail where all the historical figures are. They're trying to break in there. So they're saying, oh, I wish we had my dad's keys because he's the police officer. Like, I wish we had his keys so we could bust in there and get him. But my dad lost his keys 2 days ago. They're like, well, why don't we just go back in time, steal the keys, and then put them right here behind the sign. And then that way, when we come here, we'll have the keys. So he's like, yeah, great idea. So they go behind the sign and there's the keys.
Steal your dad's keys and leave them here.
That's kind of it's silly, but it's a great metaphor because your soul is already seeing everything from the end. So that's when people talk about living in the end, live from the end, think from the end, do everything from the end. It's like you're assuming that every step along the way, every decision that you're making, everything you perceive as a roadblock is all part of the perfect unfolding along your path, which it is. So you're like Bill and Ted. Okay, so the first card I have here, I love this deck. It's so beautiful. Intuition. So she's in the clouds there, this beautiful woman. It says intuition versus fear. Connect to soul, trust, self, and source. That's exactly what we were just talking about. Trust that you are on the exact right path where you need to be. Your higher self, your inner being already knows what's best for you and what your limiting beliefs are and the easiest, fastest, shortest, most efficient route to get you to where you want to go. Your soul is your GPS. Just trust and assume and label everything as perfect. Everything that you think might be a roadblock, nope, it's part of the perfect unfolding. It's absolutely perfect. That's part of going after those limiting beliefs, embodying that new identity. You're already at the end of the road and you're looking back. So if you're in the middle of it right now, it's sort of like you're like, oh yeah, I remember this part. I remember I thought that this was the end and I was totally off course and that everything was falling apart and I was making all the wrong decisions. I remember I thought it was such a big deal and it really wasn't. So that's what you want to look at it. That's how you want to look at it. Like from that end, from that higher perspective, that aerial view that already knows everything that you've been through and that it's all part of the perfect unfolding. And you're like Bill and Ted, and you're like, oh yeah, I already put the keys there. My dad didn't lose his keys. I stole them and I put them behind the signs that we could have them. Growth is the next card. So beautiful. This is very appropriate and applicable considering that we're in the spring right now. Spring can stir up a lot of emotions. It's a very positive and exciting time, but it can feel like a real roller coaster. And it takes a toll on our bodies because we are connected to the earth. We are connected to the environment. We are connected to the moon, to the stars and everything. And we are affected by the changes in the environment. You're in a period of growth. So how about instead of labeling everything as, we just got through winter, okay? Everything was barren and the trees weren't panicking, freaking out, going like, where are my leaves? What am I going to do? Oh my God, this is all horrible. It's all going wrong. Same thing when we're going to have ups and downs on all of our days. And so on those days when you feel extra tired, on those days where you feel lonely, where you feel you're questioning, like, am I on the right path? Is anything happening? Am I really going to be able to manifest this stuff? Absolutely. Because you're in a period of growth. Growth requires us to slow down. Growth requires extra rest. What skills are you acquiring right now? Maybe look at it that way. You're in your cocoon and you're going to come out. Instead of assuming again that your GPS is wrong and you're off course. No, you're just in your healing and growing phase. And you're going to come out of the cocoon a beautiful butterfly. Here's another one. Honor the journey. Are we seeing a theme here? I think so. So she's not panicking, going like, oh, I wonder if my baby is developing in there. I wonder if it's really happening. Like, am I really going to have? No, that she trusts and she knows that it's going to take 9 months for the baby to grow and develop all the skills that it needs. Everything is a metaphor. Everything in this physical world is a metaphor for the spiritual world. The baby's in the womb developing legs and arms and eyeballs and ears and all these things that it doesn't really need right now. It doesn't need it, so it might not know, what do I need this for while I'm in the womb? It doesn't matter. It knows that when it's born, it's gonna be using all of those limbs and all those senses, sensory organs in this world. We are developing on this earth right now a particular set of skills to sound like Liam Neeson right now, a very particular set of skills that. But
what I do have are a very particular set of skills
we will be using in the next world, in the spiritual world. So it says, honor the journey, don't rush. That's the other thing. We think that we want all of our manifestations right now, right this second. But if you got every single thing that you wanted right now, you would not be able to handle it because you don't have the skill set to handle it all. You don't want to eat all of the chocolate cake that you're going to eat for the rest of your life right now because that would not be enjoyable. So slow down, trust the journey. The less you're checking that GPS to make sure that you're on the right path, first of all, the quicker you're going to get there because you're slowing yourself down every time you're stopping to check. And second, it's going to just flow. It's going to be easier. Be in the flow. Be like nature. Be in the flow of the leaves growing, the flowers blooming. Abraham Hicks talks about be the cork bobbing in the water, floating down the river. Don't stop holding it down underneath. Stop holding it under the water. Just let it go. Just let go. Let go and you'll flow. And the universe loves efficiency and speed, and just trust that. And the more you do, the faster it's going to go. Same with your intuition. The more that you trust your intuition, the more intuition that's going to come to you. That's another video that I would like to shoot. I'm going to talk about how to develop your intuition, and especially if you feel like you're not hearing anything, you're not getting anything. Okay, but back to this for now. Diversity. Okay, that's also going along with the same theme. We're on a roll today. So diversity, and then look at this beautiful scene that she's sitting there and she's preparing herself. She's reading, she's working, she's got a lot of books going here. She's preparing herself for this journey. Diversity is important for your development. So talking about that particular set of skills, what skills could you develop? That can look like a lot of different things. You want to have diversity in your skill set. That could be reading books, that could be taking classes, that could be doing meditations, that could be exercising, that could be meeting new people. It can look like a lot of different things. I'm having to learn a bunch of new skills to post on YouTube. That doesn't seem very quote unquote spiritual, right? But I'm having a diverse set of skills because I am living in a material world and I need to learn. I need to learn these tools. I need to learn how to do this stuff to get, to like help people. So I am diversifying my skill set. Not only am I reading books about how to better myself and doing meditations and things like that and journaling, but I'm also doing sort of the more materialistic work as well. Here we have this one, the Eight of Roses, community. This can be important. I talk about this a lot on your spiritual journey. It can feel really lonely sometimes, and you can feel like nobody understands what I'm going through. I can't talk to anyone. Like these experiences that I'm having are kind of bizarre, and there's no one I can talk to. You can feel really alone. It's important to find a community, and that doesn't have to be, like local. It can be. That's great if you do that. Like I loved doing my Reiki classes, and I did aura reading classes, and I've done all kinds of stuff. But I also do Zoom classes from people that are in other countries. Find your tribe wherever that is, and if you don't have anyone else, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for that. I'm here to be your friend and hold your hand because I've been through it. I've had weird stuff like when my vibration was, up leveling, which it does all the time. It's not like I'm at the very top now and I'm done forevermore. But when I was really going through a major spiritual metamorphosis, I would wake up in the morning and my body would feel like it was vibrating. I couldn't really talk to my husband about that. Like he would think that was weird. But I have a friend who I don't really see in person, but she was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's, it can be either like your soul is trying to, like you're trying to astral project, or, which I think sometimes my body is trying to do, or it can be that your vibration is leveling up and you're literally physically feeling the vibration. Okay. So anyway, point being, find your tribe if you can. The light of the world. We have this guy out here. He's super happy and he appears to be an enlightened sort of being. And then we have this guy in here who doesn't look so thrilled. He's sort of in the dark. This guy's carrying a lantern. This goes back again. Sometimes it can be lonely to be that person with the lantern and be going through the spiritual journey, but find your group of people, even if it's on YouTube. It can help you. And honestly, some of it, sometimes you do just have to be the hermit. There are periods where you just have to kind of be the hermit and go through it and know that you will come out the other side of it and it'll be better. I'm actually at a point now where I almost look forward to the days where I'm feeling more down or more anxious, because the very next day I know I will have tremendous amounts of clarity. That's just how it goes. It's that ebb and flow, the roller coaster. Just go with it, roll with it. The more you do, the easier it is. You don't get so swept up in it, in the highs and the lows. You're good no matter what. So yeah, I noticed that I would have, and earlier on in my spiritual journey, I would feel like, what is wrong with me? When I would have those days where I felt really down or something after being up really high. Have you guys, you probably know what I'm talking about. You probably have those days too. We all do. We all have the good days and the bad days. Of course, we label them as good and bad. There's nothing inherently bad or good about that. It's not that it's good when you have, when you're super happy and you have a lot of energy, and then it's bad when you're more restful. The universe doesn't label things like that. That's a human thing that we do. But the point being, when you're having those days, again, label it as it's all part of the perfect unfolding. It's all part of it. And you'll start to recognize a pattern like I did, where I notice I'll have a down day and then the very next day I'll have so much clarity, so much intuition, so much understanding, like downloads like crazy. And so I almost look forward to it now. So it's all about reframe things, and it's about how you see them, because the more you see them as perfect and part of the perfect unfolding, the more the universe is like, okay, you're ready for this. You're ready for your manifestation. You got this. You're not going to be bogged down and get caught up and swept up in your emotions. You can handle it, because the more you can handle it, the more you roll with it, the more you can receive. Like Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So prepare yourself for that responsibility. Don't sit back and be like, well, I'll be happy once this happens. No, I'm ready for it. Like Abraham says, I am ready to be ready. I'm working on that particular skill set that's going to get me to that version of myself that I know that I am, that I know that I can be. So that's all we got today. Thank you so much. like and subscribe, and I'm out.